Good morning. Oops, my light here, just my light bulb just blew right there. I have a light on the side, but that's life. Just when you think everything is going along smoothly, the light goes out. That's okay. At least I don't have beeping in the background like us I'm doing on Monday nights. Welcome to a Sunday Thought. I had a situation this couple of days ago, actually, where I received an email from someone I haven't heard from for a long, long time. But it got me thinking as I read it, how often people stay locked in the past, how little things that bothered them way back then, they replay, and they may change the scenario, they may change the story, they may change whatever. But it got me thinking about how much do we hold on to when we think about our past? Do we hold on to those things that, we were upset about, or which could be real or not real, by the way? Did we hang on to what made us sad? Or do we hang on to the memories of the good things, the wonderful things, the things that bring about great delight and great joy? It's something I think we need to consider as we get older. And we do a lot more review, I think, when we're older than when I was younger. I was too busy to even think too much. But it was like having to review different things. A comment can be said here. A person you can see that you haven't seen for a long time can bring back memories of different time periods, of different events, different situations. And the key is have you come to terms in your life with things that weren't the way you wanted them? Now, for those that have listened to me a bit, you'll know I'm big on self-forgiveness. I found self-forgiveness really helped me through a lot of things in my life. And it's not about just forgiving the other person. I mean, sometimes that is easier than forgiving yourself. Forgiving your part of it, forgiving your thoughts that you had about the situation, forgiving the sense of how or the direction or where or when. It is you about coming in back into harmony, into that inner lovingness of the universe, or if we want to say, or wherever, however you perceive it, that all-pervading lovingness, the acceptance of things as they are. Because sometimes life has happened that has left you sad. Sometimes life has left you mad. Sometimes life is just very, very like you don't know where you're going next. That's the adventure of life. Life is an adventure. And even though sometimes we don't like what's being dished up, I remember once, and I have talked about this in lectures, we always tend to, when we're talking about creating, we talk about how we create, you put out, this is what you want, and this is how you can do it. Twice in my life, I've sat down in a restaurant with people and we've been talking about whatever, and waitresses come along, and usually it's breakfast. So mostly we often have waitresses at breakfast in the hotels you stay at. And the person has turned around, looked at the waitress and said, "Bring me whatever." In other words, don't interrupt my thinking of what I'm talking about. Just bring me whatever. The first time I heard that, I was absolutely amazed. How could anyone, I'm pretty regimented in about what I was eating anyway, but it was like, wow, it impressed me actually. The second time I heard it, I grinned inside. I went, wow, this is a person that lives in the present. The interesting thing was when the plate arrived that the waitress had decided, they ate it with no problem at all and not really stopping their discourse of whatever the conversation was about. So it's like, do we do that? Do we bring me whatever? Life brings us whatever all the time, by the way. If you haven't noticed, you're going along really nicely. You've got everything planned out. Everything's working. And then bang, as they say, the dog or the wolf got him in the chicken coop. Everything goes so crazy and you're having to reconsider, re-put things together. And that's life, what's bringing you whatever. Here we go. And we all I don't think you can be 30 and not have anything happen. like that at some point of your time. And if you've made it to 30 without something going crazy in your life, well, good for you. Most of us don't. And then as we go along, then things smooth out a little bit. We learn how to handle things. We learn how to deal with things. And most importantly, I think if you're on a spiritual path, if you're on a sense of wanting to understand more about the universal love energy, you want to understand what God is like. That was my beginning of my journey. What is this God thing? I just want to know about it. And then more and more as I delved into things and had to go inside myself to figure that out, a lot of it was I ended up really realizing that it was only love. And people consider it in different ways and different shapes. And I have found through my work as well that the love element grew and grew and grew. So love is the acceptance of things as they are. It is not judgment. It is not accusational. It's accepting what is and recognizing that love just will take care. You give it over to love. You allow love to dissolve it, to love it. So when you have a situation that comes up in your life and you remember it, however you remember it, is that you really need to take a look at what is it do you need to forgive? Now, very often people look at, I have to forgive so-and-so. But the truth is you have to forgive yourself for holding on to it. To have to forgive that sense of you as to how you wanted to hang on to it. How come you want to hang on to this? Now, it doesn't mean that your memories change, or if you want to think about a circumstance, that's still there. But it does mean that you don't hang on to it. It sort of moves into the whole avenue, and it moves you beyond. When we aspire to be the best we can be, when we aspire to feel and know love in a very large way, you are always a sense of direction of where I'm going, where I'm being, where I'm noticing. Universal love is, you can't really explain it. You need to feel it. You needing to go into that place where it just is. And you recognize that to hold on to anything that may have happened many, many years ago restricts you from that. It restricts you from being all that you can be. And also it allows a sense of direction as to where you can be in peace and harmony with yourself, because it really doesn't matter on your age. It's about how you handle each and everything. I used to always say, it is not the event that's important, it's how you handle the event. Have I always handled every event perfectly? Not at all. But then I think I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't had to go through all those shades, if I hadn't had to go through the dark as well as the light, if I hadn't had to come to terms with what was really important. Self-forgiveness, as far as I'm concerned, is very important. And I spent months at one point, every night, forgiving myself for whatever I had done throughout time, never mind this life, but throughout time. And I became easier and easier within myself. So therefore, I really ask you to think about, what are you holding on to? So the Sunday thought for today is, what are you holding on? And what is the benefit of that? What is the benefit of it? And are you really seeing it? We already know that every person in any environment, like an accident, everybody has a different story. We already know that that may not be the absolute truth. We already know that you see from your perception. So it's like letting yourself recognize that maybe there is another perception. And how come you're hanging on to it? How come after all these years you still have to hold on? What does it bring you? Satisfaction of being right? According to what? According to you? Satisfaction of being hurt because somebody said or did something? Where is that? And the whole over picture of everything. So this Sunday is really about forgiveness and letting go. To let go those little barbs from the past, to let go the sense that you wished it was different. Because very often that's what we do. Oh, if I only wish it was different. I only wish it had gone this way or that way. But the key is to really remember that you are loved and that you can forgive yourself. And that as you move into that love vibration every day is to remember that no matter what is happening or going on, the lovingness is there if you allow it in, to bring it in and apply to those situations that in your memory banks have little barbs still. I want you to be happy. I want you to be content. I want you to be clear, because there comes a time when we leave this lifetime, and the more clear we are, the easier it is. So I really wish you well on this Sunday. And while I was talking, I had put out, I will address the chat after I have completed my talk. And Maggie G, she said, caught you almost in time. Thank you. Love you. Love your talks and blessings for the day. The same to you and same to every person. And remember, back tomorrow night for our mental mind treatments. So let me know if you need a mental mind treatment for anything at all, maybe to help clear some of those barbs away. Blessings to you all. Have a great day. Enjoy there's sunshine out here. So let's hope everybody has sunshine. Blessings.